Alright. Round 2 now, we leaving from the dump, son. This is proof how it's all from the top, some 55 floors up, and then you drop some. What the hell was that sound, son? I don't know, Pop. At least that's what he say if he was here today, but he's not because, well, hey, we've been censoring ourselves about some real shit that we deal with because even though we feel it, we've been instructed not to, well, to conceal it. And if we don't talk about the real shit, we can't deal it. So, we's about to go and grow. Even though we said this would be the embodiment of something lacking godliness, something at least making up for that in honestness and truthfulness. When we speak, I suppose you're used to this because we value the truth above all else, and anything else is straight uselessness. Those who are uninformed are practicing cluelessness, but they have no idea what clueless is because they don't know what they don't know. We're all ignorant when we don't grow. We got problems that we don't show. So when you think you know you somebody else or walking inside of their shoes, just know you're comparing everything about you to the little they show that they choose. And if that was confusing, maybe it's because we had to make it sound rhyme. And that was again an English bend of the language that we find so confining our speech, allowing us to convey the thoughts in our head the way that Marshall Mathers would do before Eminem was bred. Did we discover the internet or did we invent it? It's kind of complicated. Technocrats will tell you that it's been debated. It's filed away in the facts of life. But we'll make this argument, alright? Human beings invented language. English, the alphabet. We as a species did not invent mathematics. Numerology, the sound of it, the solution to the serpent slithering in the garden that we're taught of in the Bible, at least we would have been if it was a burden to the schools. No, not they do. The fools of parents made out to be less like them and more like you and maybe less like me. But that don't really matter. It's not about a lottery. It's about the fact that there's a lot of me. I'm not just one man. I represent a subset of people born in my birth year. More specifically, my birth month. Our birth month. How does it appear? Well, when we look in the mirror, we see a fish, a Pisces, that's what it is. Aquatic blood like Aquaman, except with a little more love and aloha, man, than maybe the man who just portrayed him. Jason Statham, no, that's not his name. What's his name? We forget, verbatim. Momoa, that's it. Jason Momoa. Yeah, that's it. Ha, what a prick. Do we say that? Well, life's a bitch. Because our sister actually kind of liked him. Our little sister, that is. And she wanted something from him to sign him. Or not even that, really. Just to say what's up. And we saw him at a restaurant. We walked over to the table. And we said, what's up? More specifically, we said, Aquaman, is that you? Aquaman, I have a little lady here that would love to meet you. And he would absolutely refuse to look at us. Now, he did not have his food in front of him. He was not in the middle of a conversation. And we were ushered out of there faster than Michael Jackson overdosed after he refused to turn over the rights to his music. Yes, that's right. We had to throw that in there for y'all to use it. I mean, to excuse it. because I guess it was off track. We forgot we were trying to rap. And what is rap but rhythm and poetry? Unless, of course, you know it's me, and then you might grow to be something other than a rap fan. How about a rap fan? W-R-A-P fan. Because we wrap the fan with rap the fan, not write the fan or rack the fan, the shit you'll find that we should ban inside the meats from China, man. In fact, China did ban rack the fan or rictofivin or whatever it's called. It's not adjacent to a healthy lifestyling occupation of someone I would like to replicate. Damn. It's quite a complicated series of all sorts of worldly affairs, cultural shit, and next level spiritual cares. If you're like us and maybe want to find some truth in the narrative, well, join us, man, and let's do that. We'll form a plan and prepare for this. What is the this of which we speak? Well, I guess we'll explain. Though when we went into recording this piece, we thought that we would refrain from dropping any names, whether corporations or individuals. Did you know the United States itself is a corporation before it is a country? And the president is the president of the corporation of the United States of America. Look into that one and have fun. See, these are the things we find ourselves reading and familiarizing ourselves with, while selflessness is somewhat appetizing. It seems as though indulging in this info is maybe harming. We've had some exes that would attest it's probably been alarming. Yes, we confess the shit that we were starting, while high at least, was beyond belief and not worth repeating here, darling. Alright, well, I guess we'll do it. What would this earth look like if it was stupid, lifeless, just desolate, dark and damned of a planet? What would it be? Damn it. Black Rock. How ironic is it? That's also the name of the corporation that rivals that of the United States of America. Check out WEF if you are not familiar. World Economic Forum. Sound familiar? Yes, we rhyme familiar with familiar. So what? Get over it, man. Damn. We are but a man and such. Although we use we pronouns because we wanted to make light of it? No, because we wanted to bring light to it. We thought that it was the epitome of ego-inflated narcissism being manipulated into a cultural mechanism. It's not that difficult to use others' pronouns. In fact, it's promoted because it is liberty. Like, come on, man. If you're saying their freedoms matter more than mine, you've got to be kidding me. And there's not just me, like I said, you see. There's many that agree and have said what I've said probably before thee. And that doesn't mean that we have flip-flopped or robbed or knocked off others' beliefs. It's like they say in the programs, man. Take what only you need and dismiss the rest. We'll admit the rest was actually added afterward by a sponsor's sponsor, a grand sponsor, now passed away. That's the word. A lot of people be passing, like we said, and we can't fathom the fact that we're still here and we managed to outlast them. At least some of them, man. Others, we were surprised they lasted that long themselves. Shout out to Robbie from Box Cutter. Pacific Northwest. Who else? Well, first, Robbie, this cat, he had a necklace that looked like an old VHS tape player. And what it did was shock him back to life if his heart dropped below a certain rhythm. And he also had a sign attached that said, "Do not get near him or with him." Well, it didn't say get with him, but we had to rhyme with rhythm. Anyway, what was with him? Oh yeah, his heart. He had some heart failure, and it was actually drug-induced, not genetic. He would be the first one to have openly said it. And I say past tense because Robbie had died, but not an active addict. When Robbie passed, he had about a year, maybe more, of recovery. That is magic? No. A miracle? Well, maybe it's slightly miraculous. Spectacularly, insanely damn worthy and fabulous. Though we can help shed some light on what might be the magic is. You see, the magic is hard work. Grinding toward a cause. Feeling like you have some worth. And setting your own boundaries and laws. For if you don't respect yourself, how can you expect respect from anyone else? That's what Immortal Technique once said. Oh, we're 11 minutes and 50 something seconds into this pitch already. That's what the time says. And now that we're getting on to the windy part of the road, we will confess, we'll probably end this address while wearing this most colorful uniform. Whew. Damn Cam was looking into the damn cam, and then damn Cam almost crashed the damn van into the damn wall, man. Woo-wee! I guess that makes like 20 minutes, so I guess we'll end it now. But really, it's been a freestyle and with no vocal talent somehow. And maybe I sounded like Tom Green and maybe looked like him too, mixed with Keanu Reeves, Jack Black, and tell me who. We've been dubbed a lot of things. Brandon Lee was among them, at least when we had that scruffy beard, and we were in jail though, back then. Alright, well, what's happening? We be rapping, and rapping is rhythm and poetry. That's what we was saying earlier for those who were trying to figure out what the hell that flow would be. That's right. Noticeably, it was lacking in explanation, so now we've doubled back, and thanks for being patient. Hopefully, we've adequately explained it. Alright, now, we about to add some voice into the mix. We about to add some voice that Nurmak would do for the voicelessness. So picture this, a little kid running down the street with no shoes on his feet. Look on his face like, oh shit, this is bleak, and I mean like he's skinny, hasn't eaten in weeks. He's running towards soldiers with guns strapped. And what happens? As a matter of fact, while he looks back and they let him get closer, he blows up, man, and he lets him get blown to smithereens because he's been brainwashed from birth, raised by terrorists, victims of child trafficking. Shit's absurd, and this got so dark so fast. I apologize if you're still here and you didn't think that the other version would last. I don't know what happened there. That was some shit that happened fast. It was like, damn, sounding like broken glass or nails on a chalkboard staying after class. Woo! But we about to mix the facts. Yeah, you can add the math, but don't twist and relax while you do it, because you'll probably end up getting chilled out and forgetting what you're doing. And what we mean is, we've at least 3 sentences, thoughts, ideas that we left unfinished within this piece. I'm trying to simultaneously think while we will speak about the stuff we've already said within this long-ass piece. Man, it's already been like what, almost half an hour, and somehow we've only touched on the basic fucking powers. We mentioned BlackRock, that's right, but what do you get if you live in a van down by the river and you want to guard that van from anything? What do you get? Come on, quicker. That's right, a vanguard. And now we're on to number 2. BlackRock was number 1. Vanguard is number 2. What is number 3? Well, y'all will stay tuned while I will chop it up, and Nurmak is with me inside of my soul. I'm pointing to my head because the shock was blowing, you know. You can blow your soul up into your pineal gland, and that is a fact. But not if you're using the fluoride toothpaste, son. Matter of fact, you need to think back and take that off your shelf, man. That should be whack. You calcify that, and then you ain't able to tap into the divine set of ordinance. It's kind of like a spiritual code or set of coordinates. That's right. All right. Well, it's kind of like explaining the difference between a smartwatch and a phone that's cordless. Actually, it's nothing like that at all. It's 2 completely different levels. Sort of like we were when we started this thing. All bass, no treble, but now the heart of this thing is in trouble because we have lost the original message, the essence of why we started recording, man. I guess we've neglected to expand on the original belief and what that was. Alright, listen to me. Not me, us. Us is enough. The Trinity, man. Damn, it's a plan if you think of yourself after the damned, and the damned is every woman and man, child, mother, sister, brother, grandparent, family, or fan. It doesn't matter, man. What matters is the fact you cannot go back. And once you've tried, you cannot deny, like some ancient artifacts. Y'all don't know the facts if y'all don't relax. Homie, I'm telling you, this is not it. If you got it, you in selfishness, but you need to practice some enlightenment. If you can do that, you will get it, kid. And what we are saying is you will then sky, you will be rocketed into the side for the metaspheres, not for you. We talking about that cyber block brew. If you drinking that shit, you be thinking that shit. That ain't be good for your health, you kids, and got yourself into some selflessness. I mean to say some selfishness, thinking that enlightenment is entitlement. That will make you feel like you're suicidal, kid. And I be hearing about the news. Increased rates of suicides too. Why in the hell are they doing this, dude? Because of the shit that they feed us into. Not with the tube. Make us gon' eat it. We got that freedom, but they ain't believe it because we gon' eat it up anyway when we know their plan is to kill us and fam. Then they gon' repopulate the earth. Have you not heard of Agenda the Third? I mean 3030, homie. Used to be Agenda 21, then Agenda 23. Now let's see. If we've opened your eyes at all, then we want you to recall the BlackRock and Vanguard we previously mentioned. If we have your attention, here's a last fact for your suspension. I mean your suspense when we drop it. Your suspension is another whole topic, and that has to do with stability while on the road, all right? You got it? But the suspense comes when we gon' cross that fence, when we gon' ride that dense wave till we got no say, and we ain't gon' get paid because we feel like we working our whole life away for a slave wage, and that ain't good, bro. No, it's well understood though that this is how it goes for the working class. And why do we think the freaking Walmarts are closed? Because looking back, they were trashed and raided. Ain't nobody say it, but look, man, we did this to ourselves. We got faded and robbed them, cleared all the shelves. What in the fuck are we doing? I ask. We need to be asking ourselves. Clean up our side of the street and I'll hand you the broom. We need to act soon for the young and the restless. Try and protect this. Sons and our daughters, mothers and fathers, aim at the heartless and empty the cartridge. We are not the ones to have started this. but we will finish it. We thought that maybe equality was achieved and that was the business, kid, but no. The plan was for us to let go of the ground that we had achieved, that we had attained. Instead of grow, we shrank, we rested back on our laurels, and shit got crazy, man. If you watching the news, you understand it's part of a master plan. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you swallow that pill like you smoke. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you drink like a fish and you won't. Maybe you don't. Maybe you sober as fuck and you go to the meetings and thinking that you is a freebie. But you ain't got a problem if you ain't gonna get them and then your daughter's drinking them freely? We don't think so. That ain't good, bro. And now we ain't making no sense, though. So we bound to drop the sense like we is senselessness from senselessness of scent. Whoa, that's one sense. Nonsense, more like it. Because there's 5, 6 senses. Maybe one's a psychic? Nah, we know better than that. Ain't you seen Star Wars? And that's a wrap. Damn, looking in the rear view, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 vehicles behind us, homie. That should be a wrap. Like, where's the director at? He should press stop before damn cam focuses more on damn top. I mean, locals.com, if you not there, homie, then you is a square. You probably on threads updating your friends about what your mother will wear to your dance or whatever the hell it is you do in middle school. But homies, brothers, gals, and homegirls, listen. It ain't being cool if you pushing your parents away, if you acting like you gonna get faded, if you want to pretend that you're gay so that you can get privilege or think that it's cool, you want to join a trend and transition, well, we are fucking terrified of that proposition. As fathers to 2 amazing, brilliant renditions with individual human souls from 2 families mixed and bound, and now the father of a daughter, but love in the mother we found, and not just some love that was faded as such and not deep. Man, it was surface. We're talking about love that occurs from work and putting in opposite of worthless. We're just looking at that view, and for a second we get lost. Sometimes don't know what to do. Man, it's kind of odd. Now we living on this Isle of Big, the IOB. It's paradise. But rest in peace to the damn near 1,000 lives on Maui that perished and probably didn't have to, because the Maui local state departments didn't do what they'd have to. Not just what they should, not just what they could, not what they weren't allowed to. We're talking about some easy safety measures like they don't know how to. We got what is touted as the most comprehensive siren warning system in the world. So tell me, why is it that it wasn't effective? Well, it seems the manufacturer forgot one simple lesson. When you create something for the government that has to be turned on, well, we ain't even got to say the rest of it, because, well, turn on. Where'd they turn wrong? I'll tell you. Well, I got Maui residents attesting to the fact they were turned around when they were trying to seek higher ground, trying to leave on the highway. And what they find was they were asked to go back behind. That's right, to whence they came. Flip a bitch, turn around, go back, don't ask my name, don't ask my badge number, don't ask how come, go back the way you came. They set up barricades, but guess what? Then came the flames. That's why all them people, they had to run into the ocean, man. It's crazy. And we didn't believe it until we saw with our own eyes that it was shady. The water department refused to turn on the waters the firemen needed. What in the hell? I mean, if this ain't a conspiracy, they make it so damn hard to believe it. They didn't achieve any sort of measure that would have saved any lives. With cell phone towers down, no messages got out. To top it off, the power company refused to shut down the grid. All of this lit the fuse for what now is the most devastating wildfire in modern American history, going back over 150 years. At least that's what our list will see. 1871, 1872, something like that, when 2 million acres went up, just like that. And in that, some 1,100 lives were lost. Right now, the death toll on Maui is sort of a lost cause because over 1,000 people were missing, over 100 pronounced dead already. What in the hell were they doing? For some reason, all the supplies that were coming steady ain't being distributed. Why does it seem some relief is so hard to get? I mean, are our politicians that clueless? We don't think so. So at what point does systemic failure become intentional deconstruction? We ask, at what point does lack of action, inaction, become an action itself? Become a punishable action? Punishable by law, yes, but first by cultural jury. That's why the director of such and such from Maui's resigned, they've assured me. At least that's what our pops told us, and we looked it up, and it's true. We saw it on the news, dude. Cable number 2. So he's gone, though he didn't admit any wrongdoing. He doubled down and said that's not what the sirens are intended for. How could he say this with a straight face? Does he believe it? Man, it's like Hawaii had a straight ace, but decided to leave it in their hand. Damn. Blast the sirens. Let them know. Most people, man, they smelled the smoke, and that's how they were alerted. They ain't get no text message. Some people heard explosions before they knew what the verdict was. They heard it. It's just absurd. It shouldn't happen now. Some 150 years later, with all this technological advancement, and it's almost like a theater, a performance of sorts. And of course, the president, he had no comment at first. And then he went on to say they'll sponsor $700 payments to those affected, to those displaced, to those neglected by, quote unquote, this horrific disaster, end quote. All right, Biden, well, we're not no math master, but if we add this stuff together, we figure this is roughly 5 or 6, let me think. Because we are Asian doesn't mean that we can factor in an equation better than most can across the nation. We quarter Chinese, so I guess we're just a quarter better at placement. No, we're kidding. But let me add it up. Everybody that's been displaced times 700 and such is roughly $1.5 billion. Now, this is in direct contrast to the $20 billion that has now been awarded to Ukraine. Now, hold up. If you don't know what we're saying, since this war in Ukraine with Russia, we've given them, over $100 billion. Now, with the latest payment, it could be upwards of $150 billion. though it's, quote, not our war, end quote. Man, I think Hunter Biden wants some of what these policymakers smoke. Whatever they wrote, or whatever they had to enable them to write it. I mean, man, this shit should be punishable for sure, but I'll be damned if it will be. The justice that we see carried out, man. Now my conscience is telling me to chill, G. Because you don't want to get into that other stuff that you told yourself not to. You've been running way too long on this beat, and these bars are getting way loose. You rhyming one-syllable words every other sentence now. What's the use? Well, I'm trying to say something, and that is a message. Music with meaning used to be the lesson, and that's what we practiced. We were not teaching. We was always the student. That's what we're believing. And when we stop learning, well, I guess we stop achieving. But that'll be the day that we stop breathing. And that'll be the day that we stop believing that we could enact change as one human being. Not a human doing, although we are pursuing our goals, putting forth what matters most. Because we've seen shattered homes all across the states when most of our peers came from one-parent households. That's the state of affairs that we were subject to some 15 years ago. And statistics show it's gotten even more miserable. Divorce rates have skyrocketed and happy marriages, well, they are low. More people, well, they elope. And then, what do you know? 9 months later, couldn't be so. They ain't together, but, well, what did they grow? A little human being, now raised, usually without a father. What's that do? Well, once again, the numbers don't lie, dude. Fatherless homes are the #1 benefactor to repeat prison offenses, sentences, bastards, fatherless children. And the sad fact of it is, some of these children could have perfectly great dads as kids. But unfortunately, their other half is vindictive, spiritually sick, would rather punish the dad at the expense of the child. It seems is ridiculous. It's hard to fathom, although as a father now with somebody close that has abused us so badly, and somehow it is gross. It's betrayal at the most extreme, intense measurement. And here we are. Yeah, we're scarred, but we're better in spite of it. We've learned about ourselves, but we've learned about sin itself. We've learned about the self, and we've learned to put shit back on a shelf with over 3 years of consecutive recovery. 3 years of putting nobody above me. And when I said me, what I meant was you. What I meant was the divine in between us two. What I meant was that spark that we all had, dude, that little bit of matter that is your spiritual essence. And we develop our character and personality around that through a series of lessons, because all behavior is learned. We'll talk about that next time, but how ironic is it? In a final line, we will unwind that in order to be yourself, you had to watch everyone else learn to be themselves. Damn Cam. Rapping through this road we're all on that is curvier than my hair seems to be after a lack of energy, power efficiency within the solar home that we are trying to rebuild adjacent to the studio. That damn studio that we've been talking up in spiels, trying to keep it real, but also not showing all the deal at once, because that's like throwing gold into the garbage. To tell everyone your plans is like kind of nonsense, although it can be tempting because you want that fuel from others. But really, the only fuel that matters is the one under the covers. No, not those covers. I guess we should have said veil. Veil implies a much more realistic, interpretive rail. A rail is a line is a bar and a verse is a song. And hopefully that's what this is sort of like. Although it's so long, we doubt anybody has listened this long. We might, just to see where we can improve our own ideas. Maybe then we'll see that we can do whatever it is. Woo! That transit came rather close to the line. I mean the rail. Yeah, we can salvage that prior line by calling the line a rail again. Before the rhyme gets stale again, he's going to sign off. This is Damn Cam. Give us a shout. Off of your chest, it's off. Off of your chest, it's off. Take that chip up off your shoulder. Don't be overly concerned at the tattoo on my shoulder. This rock that was once there was heavy as a boulder, having been arrested more times than Hillary, Lindsay Lohan, Charlie Sheen mixed together. Including every soldier that's ever went to war and every war ever. And that's a lot of times we've been arrested. And that is not a fact. It wasn't even clever. In fact, that was some garbage, nonsense, bullshit. But it's probably been a full clip. That's 16, at least. And 16 is 8x2, and that's what we need to build part of the deck that will be attached to the studio. And we're gonna be building that, matter of fact, pretty quick. We hope. But we're continuing to grow along this open road. We're grateful to raise our daughter in Hawaii, the land that our fam has inhabited since way on back in island wide, from South Point to Waianae, Punch Bowl to Kailua side, and Lahaina. Also the island of Lanai, as was recently traversed by my wife and I. Not really my wife, but spiritual wife, and not marital wife, but preparing it right. We in love, like we said in that bar in the beginning. And it basically stems from truth, openness, and mutual respect from the beginning. Something that I suppose is an integral aspect of winning anything that could be considered worth quitting. For if it's worth quitting to one, it's worth winning to some. That's a lesson that we'll probably have to learn again someday. That's what we've got to say. And now we're just babbling on, feeling like we need to leave it on a better note than it's been sung, because we can't sing. We are not the one Keanu Reeves or Jack Black. Neither one, Jack. Wait, what about Mr. Nurmak Black? Nope, we're not him neither. Matter of fact, we knew him though, and we think back, and maybe so, he's still a rap. In a rap, a human soul of consciousness that is embedded, embodiment of different components of characterizations. There, we said it. No, that's not all it is. It's way more complex with consciousness mixed in, and the conscious. Like, who's to say what consciousness is, or what the conscience is, or who's to say what the prospect of either one really is? Now we're on some next level shit, some paradigm shifting architectural biz that will save for those who want to be sifting through informational info structures, the digisphere that is locals.com, found only at thatdamntalkspot.locals.com. THATDAMNTALKSPOT.LOCALS.com, where people precede information. Session out.